Name one thing that you struggled with that you've been able to positively move forward with.
Oh, I guess that would be tech. I started my business in 1981, well before the internet and cell phones. If anyone living back then, they were pretty huge, and very few people had them. They were pretty expensive. The batteries were about the size of a briefcase to
Yeah.
charge those cell phones.
Yeah.
So, I started my business, back in the day, but like I said, before the internet and a lot of computers, and so gradually, as technology creeped into the business, I had to learn, and it didn't come natural to me. But again, you have to, if you're in business, you have to have that mindset that, you've got to learn skills that, so that you're able to market your business, and you have to be where your prospects are and your customers are.
Yeah. And that sort of adaptability is so important to have a long business, a business for a long time. So I agree with you 100%. So let's just talk about your upbringing, your education. So what was your upbringing like? Were you in Calgary when you grew up?
Yeah, I'm a native Calgarian, which makes me pretty rare. Most people that live in the city tend to have come from other places in the country or around the world. I grew up in a family, two brothers. Both of my parents were blue collar, hardworking, working class people. We didn't have a lot of money, but my parents never complained. They did what they had to do to support their two or their three sons and the family. So my mom oftentimes would, do things to bring in extra money. She would babysit. I remember the family house. We had two of them at the time, not at the same time, but different times. We always made sure that there was a basement suite where we could rent it out to people, and generate extra income that way. And my father was a janitor or a caretaker for the public school system, and he would oftentimes do things outside of work, such as cutting grass in the summer, shoveling snow in the winter, and even cleaning up litter from parking lots. And that side gig of his was the inspiration for my eventual business.
Absolutely, and we'll come on to clean lots in a minute. But was your family entrepreneurial?
Well, you know what? I learned how to become entrepreneurial from their examples. They were always kind of, doing something on the side to generate that extra income, which the family needed, because neither one of them were that educated. My mom didn't work. She stayed home and took care of us when we were growing up as kids. And so it kind of left it upon my dad, to do what he had to do to, bring in money. And so, like I said, I saw the examples of the various ways that they generated income, and at an early age, I guess I was about 5 or 6, must have rubbed off on me, because I recall setting up a card table in front of the family house, and I grabbed some of my the toys from my younger brothers, who are a year younger than me, and I started to sell them to the neighborhood kids instead of a lemonade stand. And my mom quickly came out and put a stop to that. But my brothers, they weren't too happy with me, and I don't think I shared the profits with them.
Something you've said, and so I come from a working class background as well. None of my parents were particularly educated, but I was shared with a lot of love and support that they both gave me. But sorry, excuse me. But I was taught to work hard, and you needed to graft. But what I've learned growing up, and now I'm an entrepreneur myself. I worked in corporate for 14 years, but now as an entrepreneur, that actually sometimes working hard can be counterproductive, and actually working smart is actually a much better, more efficient, effective way of being able to run a business. What's your thoughts on that?
No, that's a great point, because I learned in business there's a term, just being busy or busy work,
Yeah.
and there's such a thing as smart work. So you don't want to be doing a lot of things that are not productive or counterproductive to your business. So you learn, from doing, I guess, what the good things are and what the bad things are that you should drop.
It's funny, that whole point of busy is an interesting concept, because when I was working in the corporate, there were people that just were like busy bees all the way, going around having a meeting here, a meeting there, and had to go and do this, I have to go and do that. And they used to be a great frustration for me, because it was like you need to be productive, you need to be efficient, you need to work smart as best you can. And now when I talk to friends of mine who are entrepreneurs and business owners, and it's less that sort of busy bee, but it's like, are you a good busy or a bad busy? This whole concept of being busy and keeping yourself active and whatever, I think it's changed for me. And now it's like, because if you're doing the things that you love doing, and we'll get onto your business very soon, if you do what you love doing, and you can make some money out of it, then that's that whole point of being busy. You don't need to try and enforce yourself to being busy, because the most important thing is doing what you love, and getting value, or providing value to your clients.
Exactly. And that was one of the reasons why I chose to leave my job, my full-time job, back in 1981. That's the last time I worked for anybody. Is
That's a long
because
time.
yeah, I've been in business for over 41 years, but I remember when I was working, I had to learn how to look busy. I would complete my work, and then I learned how to pace myself, because if I completed my tasks and then, I looked like I wasn't doing anything, my boss would come by and say, well, you know what, why aren't you busy? Why aren't you doing your job? And I said, well, I'm finished my job. What am I supposed to do? And then, my coworkers would tell me, Brian, you have to learn how to look busy.
So what was the
And
original
yeah.
job? What was the job that you did first of all, before Clean Lots?
Oh, okay. Well, as a teenager, I worked in sales, selling sporting goods, and then when I started working full time for the same company, it was as a shipper receiver in the shipping department.
Okay.
I kind of enjoyed it, but after a while, I just decided it wasn't for me, and I needed to find something that I enjoy doing myself and working for myself.